I've actually had some time now to kind of look at the tanks, try to figure out what is the next thing I should do first. And I'm really excited because it looks like these coral flats are basically almost like an all-in-one reef tank, all-in-one system, because they have like a big section in the back that was originally used as the filtration for this particular tank. So let me show you that. So here you can see the back filter, the back kind of sump weir area. And what I'm gonna do is basically use this as a miniature sump just to get started, just to get them started. And so the plan is to get this one started first. This one right here, this nice 175-gallon coral flat, get this one started first. I do want to refinish the stand, just give it like nice sanding and get it, you know, sparkly white before I fill it with water and kind of get into position. It's gonna be really, really fun because that's 32 square feet of area to hold some corals. But that's gonna take some time. That's gonna take a few days. And I really, really want to get one tank in here, get one thing started, get one pet coral in the house. So what I'm gonna do is set up a token little Nano Reef tank. I don't know if it'll be a full-on reef tank, but it's gonna have at least one coral inside of it. So I wanna put it right here, right next to the sink, where I have all this junk, right here. And speaking of sinks, you're gonna hear about this thing for a long time because I really, really love it. Look, in one of the sections, in just one of the sections, I was able to put this entire big reef octopus skimmer with the cup and everything, nearly completely submerged. And man, with the spray, like cleaning this thing is like, it's a blessing. I can't even tell you how awesome it is. So I'm gonna clean up this little area right here where I can put a little nano tank, and then I'm gonna show you the tank that I'm gonna set up and the coral I'm gonna put in it. All right, so I'm cleaned up over here, and this is the tank I want to show you guys. This is a JBJ Rimless Desktop Series flat panel. It's an 8-gallon tank. It's got a built-in filter, built-in light. I've used the filter before, but I've actually never used this tank. And I can't remember, I hope that the light has 2 channels on it so that it looks good. Because we gotta get a little blue action on here. So let's take it out and see how it all comes together. Set up, and yeah, it's really easy, all-in-one little setup. You can see it's got a nice channel of white light and blue light. And one thing you might have seen in the time lapse is I put the pump in front of the camera because I was cleaning everything up, and I remembered that I cleaned that pump up really well when I was done with it. And it's one of those things, just keep things in, you know, proper working order, and it'll just be much smoother the next time. So, oh yeah, got the tank set up. And the only thing that I'm not doing here yet is mixing up seawater. So I actually have 10 gallons of seawater that I mixed up at my house, just because the water is already there and it's really easy to just put it together. So we're going to put the seawater in the Nano Reef tank, turn it on, check the temperature, and see if it's ready. Right, so I've got the tank set up. I've got the water inside. I've got the light on. The temperature is a little bit on the cool side. It's about 74 degrees, but this hammer coral's been here since this morning, so it's 74 degrees too. But I got the heater in, and it's a heater I've used before, so that I know that it works. So yeah, no cycling. I'm gonna put the coral straight in. And for those of you who followed me for a long time, you know that Eco Reef Zero is just fine with no biomedia. Corals just put out so little waste and they consume waste, so you really don't have to worry about ammonia and nitrite and cycling any tank for corals. Depends on how much waste you put into it, but we'll revisit that topic. For now, It's time to put this hammer coral inside. And this is not just any hammer coral. This is a coral that I've had since I was 17, so nearly 20 years this coral is. And at the time, it was just one of the nicest green branchy hammer that we could get, because in the late 90s, there was just not that many corals. So the last thing I need to do is I want to clean up the coral. Basically, just kind of scrape off any sponge, valonia, algae, vermitid worms potentially on the base, because I want this, all my tanks to just be basically corals and bacteria, and as little as possible, but I didn't add in there on purpose. So I'm going to clean up this, this hammer coral and stick it in. The first aquarium, the Reef Builder Studio, is doing great. The hammer corals are opening up, the leather corals opening up, and man, I just can't wait to get a little fish in there. Make sure to pop down in the comments what you think I should add to this tank, a single solitary little pet fish. As much as a stickler as I was for cleaning off the sponge, algae, and any unwanted hitchhikers on the corals, I forgot to dip them. I forgot to dip the corals. Shame on me. But I don't have any dipping solution, I don't have a dipping station, so that's something I need to put on the agenda sooner rather than later. I want to thank everybody for all the comments. The response has been really overwhelming, and I'm just truly humbled, and this video series is going to be what you think it is. It's going to be a lot of tanks, a lot of gear, a lot of corals, a lot of fish, some adventures, and man, I just want to thank everybody for the support. Go ahead and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Give it a like, share it with people that you think would want to come along on this ride of the, watching the Reef Builder Studio come to life. It's been a whole lot of fun, and I can't wait to get the next video going, because I will be plumbing up and putting together my first coral flat, giving me 32 square feet of real estate for corals that I have at home, giving my tanks a little bit more breathing room, and for new corals. So man, I'm gonna keep the momentum going. We have 2 weeks of MACLA, so I'm gonna see a lot of you guys there, and in the meantime, I'm just gonna keep at it. So thanks everybody for tuning into this.